Hello students, in this video I'm going to consider the second part of my earlier video on covers of elements of the partially ordered set, namely the power set of a set. So part 1 of this video has been considered already, it has been made already, and in that part, if you see that part, you will see that video ended with a result which I just stated, and the result was that if X is any set, then for the PO set, power set of X with respect to inclusion relation, if you pick up any element A belonging to the power set of X, then A will be covered by B if and only if B is of this form, that is B is of the form A union singleton B for some B belonging to X minus A, that is the complement of A or A complement with respect to X. So this result I had just stated, and I told you in the last video that this result is if and only if, which means that for the element A belonging to the power set of X, where X is any set, and we are considering the power set of X, and we are taking any element A belonging to the power set of X, then if A is covered by B, or if B is a cover of A, then B should be of this form. This is one thing. And if there is an element B belonging to power set of X which is of this form, then this element covers A. So both the ways the result is true. So this result I had just stated in the first part of this video on covers of elements of the partially ordered set, namely the power set of a set. In this particular video I'm just going to prove this result formally. So let me prove the first part of this result. The first part is that if A is covered by B, which means that if the element B belonging to power set of X is a cover of the element A belonging to the power set of X, then B should be of this form, which means that B should be of the form A union singleton B, or a set consisting of single element B, where B can be any element from the complement of A in X. So let me start with the first part. So let us suppose that A is covered by B. Now because A is covered by B, or B is a cover of A, by definition of cover, A is contained in B, because this is the relation that we have. A is contained in B and A is properly contained in B, which means that A is not equal to B. A and B are distinct, and by definition of cover, there is no element C belonging to power set of X lying between A and B. There is no distinct element C which is different from A and B, and it lies between A and B. So that is not possible, just because I'm saying that B is a cover of A. So that was the definition of cover, which means when I write a line like this simply means that that B is just bigger than A, which means that if you draw the hash diagram, then above A, just above A, B lies. There is nothing in between A and B, or B is just bigger than A, which means that because there is nothing in between A and B is just bigger than A, and A is contained in B, or B contains A, so this means that B will not only contain A, and it will also at least contain one element B belonging to A complement. Why? B will contain A because we have already said that A is contained in B, and also I'm saying that A is properly contained in B, which means that this B is not exactly equal to A. So they both are not equal. A is properly contained in B, which means B contains A, but B is different from A, which means that B should have at least one element which comes from somewhere other than A, because A is already contained, and now because they are not equal, so that one element, at least one element, should come from the complement of A. So let's say that element is B. Right now what we have is that B contains A, and at least one element it has, and let's say I'm calling that element as B belonging to the A complement. Now what I claim that I say that B is exactly equal to A union this singleton set, or the set consisting of the single element B. So B cannot have more than one element of the complement. Why? Because if B has one more element, let's say that element is C belonging to A complement, and this C is different from B, in that case B will be of the form A union the set BC, and in that case what will happen? In that case A will be contained in this A union C, and of course A is properly contained, they are not equal, so A is properly contained, A and this set are not equal, and also this set is contained in B, because A is contained in B, and this B has BC, it has something more than this set, and so this element lies between, in a way, between A and B, and this is the relation, that these are all proper relations. But this is not possible. Why? Because we just said that B is a cover of A. So if B is a cover of A, there cannot be anything in between A and B. And now we have got this something between A and B. And why is this contradiction coming? This contradiction, or this wrong conclusion that we are getting, this is coming just because we have assumed that B is of this type. B is equal to A union BC. So this means that this is not possible. This means that the only possibility that you have for B is that B will be equal to A union the singleton set B, where B can be any element. For some element, you can take any element belonging to A complement. So if A is covered by B, or if B is a cover of A, then B will always be of this form: A union singleton B, where B comes from the complement of A in X. This was one part of the result, and now we prove the second part of this result, that if B belonging to the power set of X is of this form, A union B, then this element covers A. So this is the second part. Now let me consider the converse part. Let me consider an element B belonging to the power set of X, which is of the form A union the single set B, or the singleton B, where B is any element coming from A complement or X minus A. This is the complement of A in X. Now it can be easily seen that A is contained in B, because B, this element B is of this type. It has A union one element more, and that one element is coming from A complement. But in any case, this is bigger than A and it contains A. So A is contained in B and A is properly contained in B. So A is contained in B and A and B are distinct. A is properly contained in B. Why? Because B has one more element. One more element which is coming from the complement of A, or X minus A or A complement. So they both are distinct. Also we can see, because B is of the form A union singleton B, where B is an element coming from A complement. So you cannot have any element C belonging to the power set of X lying in between A and B. This is your B lying between A and B properly. You cannot have a C lying in between both of them, both A and B properly. That is, you cannot have that A is contained in C and not equal to C, and C is contained in B and not equal to B, because the element which is just bigger than A is this. Because this element B has not only this particular element B not only has A, because A is contained in B, but it has one more element from the complement. So and A is not concerned with this particular element, because this particular element is coming from A complement. So A is contained, A is only in this part, and this part is one element coming from the complement. So there is no concern between A and this element. And also just above A you have this particular element. So there can't be anything in between A and B, which means you cannot have something like this. There cannot be any C belonging to power set of X which lies C different from A and B. There cannot be any element C belonging to the power set of X different from A and B, such that A is properly contained in C and C is properly contained in A union B. Of course you have something like this, that A is contained in A and this is contained in A union B. This is there, of course, this whole thing is there, but then this element is equal to A. So here I am saying that C is different from A, so that is not possible. So now because you have something like this, because you have a line like this and a line like this, that A is contained in B, which means A is related to B, A is different from B, and there is no distinct element C belonging to power set of X different from A and B, which behaves in such a way that A is properly contained in C and C is properly contained in this B. So because these are the conditions which should be satisfied for an element B to be a cover of A. So because of these two conditions, you have that A is covered by B, or in other words we can say that B is a cover of A, and that is what we had to show. So this was the converse part, in which what we had to show was that you are given an element B of this type and you have to show that this particular B, which is of this type, is a cover of A, or A is covered by B. So both the ways we have shown the result, which was stated in part 1 of this video, and the whole proof has been given in part 2.